Batch cooking, meal planning not only saves you time, it saves you money as well. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about batch cooking, how to freeze, how to defrost and reheat. I've had numerous questions about this in particular, so I thought today's episode we could focus on that. I'm also going to be sharing with you my chili recipe, which is in my book. It is a family favourite recipe. The dogs have just come in. It's a family favourite recipe. It is on page 209 of my book, and Simon and I are going to be away when you're watching this video, so I thought I would do some batch cooking anyway and share it with you, and also share all of my tips about freezing, defrosting and reheating. So let's get cooking. I have got red pepper, celery, onion, chilli here, and then when I batch cook, if you're going to do it, if you're going to make the effort, do extra, and then you have got enough for a meal. You could even keep some in the fridge for a meal a couple of days later, and you can pop some in the freezer as well. So I have got 5 pounds of mince, which my butcher has prepared for me. And I've got my Le Creuset over there. I'm going to heat up some olive oil and fry off the onions to start with. So I'm going to add a good glug of olive oil into my pan. To start with, I'm just going to add the onions and celery. Cook those until they've started to soften. At this stage, I salt the onions, then add in the red pepper, cook that for a few minutes, then add the red chilli, crushed garlic, and then the tomato paste. Stir that through and let it cook for a minute. I've just added the mince in, and I'm going to cook it until it's browned all over. Once the meat has browned all over, we are going to add in our herbs and spices. So half a teaspoon of cayenne, cumin, cinnamon, oregano, 2 bay leaves, a good glug of red wine, 2 tins of tomatoes. Give that a good stir through. Season with black pepper. I've already added my salt in, and we will check the seasoning just before we're ready to serve. And then finally, kidney beans. I have just drained and rinsed them. Stir those through. Reduce the temperature to a simmer, and simmer for a minimum of an hour. I'm actually going to pop them in the simmering oven of my Aga and leave it there for a couple of hours at least. And I find with things like this, it's even better the following day, or even once it's been frozen. So we're going to pop the lid on into the simmering Aga. And I will be back with you later on. And my book, Through the Seasons, is available on my website, but it's also available now on Amazon and in a few local bookshops as well. And if you know a local bookshop that would like to stock it, do get in touch. hello@askcharlie.how, because I would love my book to be stocked in as many places as possible. My chilli has been simmering away since I popped it in earlier with you, and it smells good. I actually had a friend here and she said, something smells amazing, what is it? And I said, that's my chilli simmering away. Now I'm going to leave this to cool, and we will have some of it later on this evening in a few hours time. What I love about chilli is it's so versatile. You can have it with jacket potato, you can have it with rice, you can have it with couscous, you can have it in a wrap. So many different ways to have it and enjoy it, and it's just a really great one to batch cook. It freezes really well. Now when you are freezing things like this, a little extra liquid is always a good thing. When you freeze things, you will lose some of the moisture in the food. So if you have extra moisture in there, that is absolutely perfect. Mum used to get things out of the freezer, so maybe like a pie or something, and she'd splash a little bit of water onto the top of the pastry before reheating it. You'd always add a little bit of water in, so it rehydrates it well, having been frozen. So that is something to bear in mind. Also, when you're freezing, don't fill things to the absolute top because it will expand. So make sure that there is room for expansion when you are freezing things. So yesterday, once my chilli was fully cooled, I popped it into the fridge in here. Luckily, I've got a big fridge freezer. Now you can see there is a tiny, tiny amount of fat on the top. I asked my butcher for really good quality and he has not disappointed. I've got really good quality mince. If there is a layer of fat on there, scrape it off and discard it, but I don't need to do that. Now make sure when you are using glass in the freezer that it is freezer safe, that you can use it in the freezer. And as I mentioned yesterday, don't overfill it. You've got to leave room for expansion. What is great about these glass tubs is they have got an air vent on the top, so you can use that. And if you are reheating in the glassware and it is oven safe, do not put it straight from the freezer into the oven. Let it defrost in here before you put it into the oven. If you put it straight into the oven from really cold, it will crack. So don't do that. Now I've got my ladle and I'm just going to mix it through and then pop it. And I actually freeze with the bay leaves in there and they help with the flavour. I take them out before actually serving. And I just portion it up into my containers, and then I know that there's enough in here for about 2 people. So I'm not overfilling it, but I can get a little bit more in there. So that would serve 2 in our family. And then I pop the lid on, seal it, and I have a roll of labels. Can't remember where I bought these. I bought them years ago and they just go on and on and on. And then I just take off the sticky label, pop it on there and write what it is. And I should put the date on as well. So there we are. That is how I store things for the freezer. So let's chat about freezing food, how to freeze food, and then defrosting it. It's so important that this is done carefully and safely. So do not put any food into the freezer that is still warm. Let it cool completely, and I let it cool until it's cool enough to go into the fridge. I then pop it in the fridge. I then take it out of the fridge and then I portion it up, and then it goes into the freezer once it has been labelled and dated like so. When you're freezing things, make sure that there's enough room for expansion, because things do expand. Now this is suitable glass to go into the freezer, but make sure that you are using things that are okay to go in the freezer. Glass can break, so be careful. Make sure that it is freezer safe glass if you're using glass. I love to reuse plastic yogurt pots, and those work really, really well, but I am trying to avoid plastic, so I'm moving away from buying Tupperwares. Aluminium trays work, and you can use those straight from the freezer into the oven, and you can cook something from frozen. This glass is microwave safe, but you mustn't put glass straight from the freezer or cold glass into the oven. It will shatter, so be careful when using glass. Be really mindful. All of this advice is in my freezer tips, which is available for you with this video. Then defrosting things from the freezer. Defrost things safely. If you leave something out overnight, so maybe I might leave a soup out that's a vegetable soup that doesn't have any meat, that is okay, but it's much better to defrost things slowly in the fridge. and then once it's fully thawed, then you can use it. So take it out the night before, pop it into the fridge. I actually pop it on a tea towel, and then it doesn't get wet in the fridge, which is really annoying. Pop a tea towel, like one of these. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Going crazy. One of these underneath it in the fridge. Let it defrost fully, and then, so if I take it out on, for example, Monday night, leave it in the fridge overnight and all day, pop a knife in to check that it's fully defrosted before reheating it, and make sure that when you reheat it, it is piping hot throughout. Be really careful with meat products as well. Make sure that those are fully reheated, and you can use a meat probe to check with that, so be safe when you're doing that. If you're in a hurry to defrost something, you can stand it in a sink of cold water and let it slowly defrost. Never put a meat product into warm or hot water, particularly if it's raw meat, because that will partially cook it and it's really not a good idea. But all of these tips are in the notes that go with today's video, so I really hope that those are helpful. But be safe when you are freezing things, so make sure that it is cold before it goes into the freezer, and make sure that when you reheat, it is piping hot throughout once you've reheated it. But I love to bring things up to room temperature slowly, so they'll go into the fridge first. I'll then take them out of the fridge, leave them for half an hour to come up to room temperature before reheating. And I do the same with veg. People often, because I freeze roast potatoes at Christmas, people often say to me, how do you do them? I take them out on Christmas Eve. I let them slowly thaw in the fridge. I then bring them up to room temperature, and then I reheat them, and it works really well. But if you pop them straight from the freezer into the oven tray, you'll probably get bullets. And if you also do it the wrong way, they can become a bit of a soggy mess. There's a bit of an art to it. I have learned over the years. Sorry, barking dogs, that's probably my cue to stop waffling. I really hope that this has been useful, me sharing these tips with you. Batch cooking, freezing, it saves so much time. It saves money, it saves stress, and it's really just a wonderful way to get into cooking. If you're going to make the effort to cook something, cook a little bit extra, and then when you're tight on time, you can just pull something healthy and nutritious out of your freezer, defrost it and enjoy it. And we all have busy days when we're tired and we really can't be bothered to cook, but if you've got things in the freezer that you can pull out and you can enjoy, then that is perfect. And it's so much better for our bodies if we are eating home cooked. And so if you spend a little bit of time each week batch cooking, then you will build up some stock in the freezer that you can just pull out and use. And it's always a good idea to have a good size freezer that you can do that, particularly if you've got a family. I have got a freezer in our utility room that's outside. It doesn't get too cold in there, so you've got to be careful putting a freezer in an outbuilding, because if the temperature drops below a certain temperature, you can have problems. So look into that carefully. But we've got a backup freezer out there, which is really, really useful. So I can batch cook. And because Simon and I are going to be away next week, I know that the children can just pull things out of the freezer, let it defrost and reheat it. And these glass containers I will leave linked for you because they're great. They're microwavable, free. You can pop them in the freezer and the dishwasher, which is really, really perfect. Terribly useful. And I prefer using these than plastic Tupperwares in the freezer. And I'm trying to, make conscious decisions to be a little bit more thoughtful for the environment. I reuse those yogurt pots, and they last quite a long time. So I'm quite happy buying those yogurt pots because I can reuse them and recycle them, and they freeze as well. But these are great storage containers. Now I have also created my freezer tips for you, storing food in the freezer, defrosting and reheating. So I will leave that linked in the description of this video. You can download it, you can save it, you can print it off. It's available on my website as well. So head over to askcharlie.how and you will see this week's, so all of my YouTube channels are on my website as well, and if there's accompanying PDF notes, then they're available on my website and in the description of this video. So I really hope that's helpful. I try to create content for you that is helpful and useful and practical, and do share my channel with anyone else that you think might find it useful and benefit from it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if there are videos that you would like me to create. Somebody gave me the idea to create this week's video, and I love hearing from you and creating content that you want and that will be useful and helpful for you all. So please do let me know in the comments, or send me an email, hello@askcharlie.how. I love hearing from you all, and have a super rest of the week.